Hello everyone, this is Cookies, and I've got turn 30, and the action between Sauromatia and Hinnom is pretty much my whole feed this turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at unrelated battles, and then we'll go through the big war. So we've got Helheim attacking presumably another horde of barbarians. Yep. Is it just the one Jarl? He's not going to have all of these blessed, I don't think. Let me see. Just want to check. Maybe there's an easier way. Maybe it's the ones at the back. Yeah, he's definitely missing some. Got a lot of them, though. Now, I could see a few casualties taking place without the bless, but we'll have to see. Ooh, got the retreat just in time before that one got worn down. All right, I think he got through that with no casualties. Yep. All right, and then we've got, looks like another batch of barbarians attacking Berytos. Oh, attacking his barbarian PD, no less. Okay. We have a special attack on Xibalba. So one of his blood mages is being assassinated. Now it is a little bit funny because the blood slaves try to defend with their 50 morale to attack. Okay. And then we have an independent strike on Mekone, a singular earth gnome. Okay. So I think that's everything not Hinnom related. So let's go ahead and go through all of this fighting. So we have the main Hinnom force. We've got a whole block of Seir. We've got some Avim, a whole line of Rephites, and a few of the Avite heavy archers. And a few milk carts in the center, it looks like. The red ones. Is that all this blessed? Okay, yes. Alright, as a reminder, vampiric weapons and berserker. Oh, but he doesn't find the Sauromatia army. Okay, so this is bad for Hinnom. Obviously, he kills that. So then in Flimistan, Sauromatia sends a very small raid. Because there was a high probability that Hinnom could have deployed his army here. Okay. Then in Giant Spine, we have the Avim raid runs into a whole bunch of Sauromatian troops, so it's going to be toast. Alright. Does manage to kill one of the Oreopoda, but generally speaking, a pretty significant loss. Significant in the sense that it's a raiding party that Hinnom would like to have. In Amiradon, we've got another smaller raiding party taking out some PD. All right, in Midland, we have a counter raid by Hinnom. So we've got Avim, we've got Jade Maidens, and in the back we've got the Amphibious Mercs. Going up against one PD, I think. Oh, no, we've got a Thug down here. So the Thug is temporarily paralyzed. Knocked out of his buff cycle and killed. Alright. So one Raksharaja down. Lanka raids back into Ledia with the other Raksharaja that we've seen. This one's the Battle Fright one, but finds a milk cart. So I think it's in trouble. We'll have to see though. The Lanka Bless is very strong. As a reminder, it's Quickness, Blood Surge, and Awe. So we've got that personal flight. I'll go ahead and shift over. See where he lands. Lands right on the milk cart. Now this Shade Sorceress has put Moss Body on the milk cart. He's up at 22 protection, so you did get a bark skin buff. Which is pretty free on milk carts because they come with 15 fire resist. And then, yeah, it's 18 attack, 33 damage. Heading into, there's a little bit of harassment, so 12 defense. But 18 attack, 36 damage. But this Raksharaja, who has enormous strength, so hits for 36. I think almost as hard as the milk cart. Hits harder than the milk cart. But it's probably going to prioritize this Jade Maiden. So I think the milk cart might yoink this guy first. There we go. Does get 2 of the Jade Maidens though. Alright, so that's a second Thug down. In Wold, we see another Sauromatian raid. This is that Cataphract group that we saw. Finds PD. In Hinnom, we see Lanka move in. Now, we knew this guy was coming because we could see the previous raid underwater, and he's got the Amulet of Breathing. But Hinnom didn't necessarily know this was coming, so he's only got 1 PD here. Okay. And then in Salt Plains, Sauromatia heading back in. Another very expendable raid, because he might run into the main Hinnom army. Very efficient. Enough to kill 6 to 10 PD, but not too much more, which I like. And then we've got 10 Veer. Another Lanka attack or raid. Another raid. This is our third Raksharaja Thug. No defenses here, so he might be okay. Okay, definitely okay. That awe kicking in a little bit. Alright. So if we jump up to the overworld map, let's go ahead and find Hinnom, which is much smaller and harder to find now. Okay, so Hinnom took the option to move on to Zemki, or Zemiki, which was the Sauromatian fort. Because there's a reasonable chance that he can force a fight here. Now, I think a little unlucky that he might not have, with that many giants, broken the fort walls with just in the initial turn. Roughfights and Zaire and Avim all have pretty good siege strength. So that's a little bit surprising. But generally speaking, all the Sauromatian raids went pretty well. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. And the Hinnom army is now very cut off because this fort's probably going to get put under siege next turn. And if he does manage to defeat this army, they've got no retreat routes. So this is a very all-in play by Hinnom. But it's also a very fun play. Okay, and then now where Hinnom's had a little bit more success is against Lanka. He did take a drubbing in the bump, and it was pretty bad, but in the initial turn of the war, he did kill, if I remember correctly, a small Lanka army. And now he's killed two of the 4 Lanka thugs that we see. Looks like there's another one here. So Lanka is definitely printing them. I'm not sure how many more he has on hand. But, I mean, his best one is definitely in Hinnom, and now Hinnom's seen that one. He's retaken Midland, so he's at least traced income through all here. And down through here, he still has his fort here. Berytos has not yet moved into Vulture, although he's probably thinking about it. Depending on his scouting, this may look like Hinnom's doing better than he is because of the Midland force. Yeah, not being able to keep... And you notice the main Sauromatian force set still. Okay. Either that or, I forget, it might have gone from here to here, but generally speaking, it did not go forward in raid. He sent forward a bunch of really expendable small raids, and he's got his a little bit more medium commitment raid over here. Did not bump Marverni. I'm a little bit surprised Marverni is giving up on these 2 provinces. It's a fair amount of gold. You've got a hidden gold mine here. I would think Marverni would want this land. So, but yeah, it looks like Sauromatia is doing pretty well so far. I'm not sure what they do about the Hinnom Doom stack. Let's go ahead and see how the army attacks. If it's on attack rear or attack closest. So this line is on attack closest. These also look to be on attack closest. So there is space on the edges of the battlefield. If Sauromatia wanted to attempt a fight, to send multiple squads on attack rear, maybe one of those squads would pass the attack rear check, and they would actually get back here. If he kills the Mound King, I believe... no, Hinnom's got some undead leadership. He'd have to kill the Melkarts too. So I don't think he's going to have an easy commander snipe option. The Sayer are very killy, but they've also only got 7 protection. Could try to hack through them. The Rephites are a lot more tricky, 55 HP at 15 protection. Yeah, very scary army. Hinnom's basically saying, come fight me or I'm taking your fort. Also push the unrest on the fort up over 100. So even, you know, he only has to stay there one more turn, and then Sauromatia would have to patrol it down just to use the fort again. And there's also the threat, a little bit of a base trade. If this army, it could opt to try and siege down and take this fort, or it could opt to try and keep walking over towards Sauromatia. And then I think what you'd see is a lot of this stuff having to come back and try to build up a force to knock Hinnom off the capital. That would be a very destructive trade. And then I would assume that Lanka would try to take the capital. So in the meantime, Hinnom's going to try to recruit as many Rephites as possible. He's got some on this fort, some on this fort. He can try to hold on. Mazix and birds don't cost upkeep. He won't lose commanders. He won't lose sacreds to upkeep issues. Just the Avim that he has running around, but he just lost some of those this turn. So his upkeep's going to go down a little bit. This would be the main group of Avim that I would be worried about desertion with. But yeah, I mean, there's not a heck of a lot down here. He might not know that. There's this Raksharaja, but I'm not sure if that would kill all of this. Especially after it just killed one. So some of the, maybe these Palankasha would have to come reinforce while this tries to run on the capital. So I would say Hinnom's definitely losing ground. He lost, what was it, 5 provinces to Sauromatia this turn. Lost 1 to Lanka, but gained 1 from Lanka. But yeah, down net quite a bit. Otherwise, things are pretty peaceful. We see a continued build-up by Mekone on the Tianchi border. So it looks like maybe he's still counting that nap down and thinking about attacking. Helheim is continuing to take independent provinces in this area. And we don't see any reaction from Tianchi to the contrary. So that's a little bit interesting. What I know diplomatically was Berytos had left this to Helheim, but Helheim has yet to take it. I think we've had a couple of failed elf thugs, or very light elf thugs, try to take this province but get overwhelmed by the barbarians. And yeah, Ur's still building up. Berytos is still building up. What happened here? Yeah, that's something that doesn't show up in my battle summaries, is when stuff gets patrolled out. So like I missed a group of elves getting patrolled out. So I'll try to keep an eye out occasionally, but I guarantee you I'm going to miss the odd thing, especially as we get later in the game. Let's see, Fomoria is probably saving up to build a fort here on the Throne of Life. He has yet to claim it. He might be waiting until he gets, I mean, people are going to know what it is. All the other thrones are claimed. And if it was the Throne of Death, it would have death scales on it. So maybe he just doesn't have a Holy 3 there yet to claim. All right. But yeah, I'm hoping this is the calm before the storm, but we've had an awful lot of calm. Xibalba had talked about attacking Lanka, but I don't see any movement just yet. What are we up to? 480. Maybe 700 units. Then we've got some more Ozelotls getting created down here. Okay. Well, outside of the very hot war between Hinnom and Lanka and Sauromatia. Pretty calm turn. We can take a quick peek at the graphs. We got Lanka out in front. Sauromatia with a big uptick this turn from the rating game. So now Lanka and Sauromatia moved up ahead of and Berytos. And then we got Mekone and Helheim sort of tied for fourth, I guess. For forwards, we've got Berytos, Sauromatia, and TNG. For income, it's Berytos and way up there. Because they've got the scales, and then Sauromatia is up a bunch this turn from the rating game, so they're starting to separate from the pack a bit. And we can see the precipitous decline of Hinnom, who's dropped all the way down to Marverni's health scales in terms of income. For gym income, we've got Lanka and Sauromatia out in front. This is from rating game, mostly. So Hinnom had some decent site searching, although some of it might be from events. Hinnom only lost this much this turn, so I would expect, maybe, was that like almost 2 bars? So maybe like to here, but it's actually up to here. For blood income, we've got Xibalba out in front, Berytos in second, Hinnom in third, potentially maybe even blood hunting forts and his capital. Might not care about the long-term prospects of his nation if he's going down, so he might be converting that population into a resource that he can use to get more, say, air. Lanka's turned off blood hunting a little bit. We've got Berytos and TNG still out in front on research, followed by Marverni, Helheim, and Fomoria. With Dominion, we've got Hinnom out in front, followed by TNG, Marverni, and Lanka. And then with army size, we've got Berytos way out in front, followed by and Xibalba, who also have very large armies. And then down here, we've got Sauromatia, notable for being at war currently, Hinnom, who's had a little bit of a downtick, Sauromatia a little bit of an uptick, and Lanka also there. So Sauromatia and Lanka a little bit bigger than Hinnom, but we'll have to, those ref fights for Hinnom can definitely be quite scary, so we'll have to see what happens. And then for ascension points, we've got Sauromatia, Hinnom, and TNG out in front. So I think that's it for this one. We'll keep this one a little bit shorter, and have a great one. Later, guys.